Hello, good afternoon. How are we doing today? If you are joining us from any part of the world, please drop it in the comments. And I hope today's session is going to be engaging and interactive as usual. My name is Okwemi Shokumbi, CTO Press One Africa. And today I'm glad to be here once again to share my thoughts and to speak to you on the power of the pause, taking the stock of 2025 before racing into 2026. How are you doing so far in the year? What are the things that are notable and remarkable that has been achieved? How are you focusing on them? Are you planning for 2026? Now is the time to take stock, look at the inventory, and then move on to the next episode or the next chapter. So today, like I mentioned, we'll be speaking about the power of the pause, taking stock of 2025 before racing into 2026. And it's just remarkable how much life can move, and we may not be intentional, may not be conscious of celebrating our progress, and then emotionally regulating how we set the goals for the next year. And this is why this session is a lot of reflection. And I want to start with just one major question. What's one thing you are grateful for from 2025? If you're happy to share, you can drop it on the comments. What is one thing you are grateful for from 2025? What is that one thing you are grateful for? Is it your resilience through uncertainty? You have navigated the economic challenges wherever you are, or whatever country you are living. I know most of my audience reside in Nigeria, but I know there are other people that join from different parts of the world. Is it the workplace changes that you have survived, the personal pressures, and you are still standing? That strength is worth celebrating. Is it the lessons that disguise as failures? Every setback has taught you something. That rejected proposal sharpened your thinking. That lost opportunity redirected your path. Those things that looks like failures were actual investments towards your growth. Is it the relationships that you held down? The mentor who believed in you, the colleague who had your back, the friend who listened without judgment, the family member who supported your dreams, the people that you have in the Yoruba culture will say they are the cloth that covers you, and that's your wealth. What are you grateful for in 2025? Your adaptability in a changing world. You learned a new skill, you adjusted to new technologies, you navigated hybrid work, you stayed relevant in an evolving marketplace. That adaptability is your competitive advantage. Is it the courage to show up imperfectly, just like myself? You didn't have it all figured out, but you showed up anyway. You asked the right questions. Even sometimes someone might say it's stupid, but you asked the questions nonetheless. You admitted that you didn't know. You tried despite the fear. You experienced, a lot of things that brought in uncertainty, but that vulnerability saw you through and helped you shape your leadership and your personality. Is it your mental and your physical health that you are grateful for in 2025? You are here, you are still breathing. That means you have the capacity to dream, to work and grow. In a world where health is never guaranteed, everything, especially some of the things you have come across in the news, in the media, on the radio, all through different sources, could have, battered your mental and physical health. But here you are, you survived. Is it the opportunities that you created for yourself? You didn't wait for anyone to grant you the permission. You just started that side hustle. You started that side project. You enrolled in that course. Yes, you had difficulty with several conversations, but you pulled through. You invested in yourself when no one else was watching. Was it the wisdom to say no? Protected your peace by declining what didn't serve you, whether it was white tax, black tax, or whatever it is. You set boundaries from toxic relationships. You walked away from opportunities that weren't aligned. That discernment saved you energy for what truly matters. What are you grateful for in 2025? If you think of any, please drop it in the comments. Is it your voice and the times you spoke up in that meeting? Shared your idea despite the risk. You advocated for yourself or someone. Contributed your perspective. Your voice genuinely and truly matters. And you proved it. Is it the fact that your story isn't over? What are you grateful for in 2025? You have another year ahead, another chance to evolve, another opportunity to impact lives, another season to become who you are meant to be. The best chapter might be unwritten. For some, they received the gift of a child, so their family increased. They welcomed the baby, they celebrated. For some, just like I mentioned, the mental and physical health, they recovered from ailments and illnesses. For some, they got married to the love of their art, to their heartthrobs. For some, they received that promotion they have long waited for. Congratulations. What are you grateful for in 2025? And I think today's session is really about you taking that pause and taking stock of, what is it in your life that you should be grateful for. I'd love to start on the note that the first thing, the importance of intentional reflection. Yes, we will definitely, maybe next week or upper week, start talking about your 2026 goals. But before we talk about that, let's talk about something most people skip, and that's actually stopping to acknowledge where you have been. In fact, in our daily, construct and in our, hustle culture, we are conditioned to immediately ask ourselves what is next without celebrating what has happened. And this week, I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to take, literally stop and think and reflect intentionally about what has happened in 2025. Now, I've shared with you several times the stop technique, but in this case, I'm going to use it in a different way. And what I will say is that you need to stop your planning for 2026 for the moment. Not entirely, but for the moment, if possible, for the next few hours. Stop your planning. Take a breath. Observe what you have actually accomplished this year. Write them, journal them, take note of them. Then proceed with gratitude before the ambition of 2026. There is a lot that gratitude does for us that we would never imagine and sometimes comes to accept. Gratitude means a lot. In fact, if it is just to praise yourself alone, that is a lot of self-awareness, which is the foundation of emotional intelligence. And this requires that you see yourself clearly, including your wins. You see, the wins that you have had in 2025, you might have commonized them or you might have made them look ordinary. But this is someone else's, let me say long shots. Someone else's, awaiting testimony. And this is why we need to understand that we need to take gratitude seriously. All right, I just spoke about the importance of intentional reflection. So stop planning for 2026 for a moment, take a breath, observe what you have actually accomplished, and proceed with gratitude before ambition. All right, the second thing is that gratitude should be a practice, not just a feeling. Now, gratitude shouldn't just be that feeling that you have for you to be positive. It's not just a positivity thing or a motivational thing, or in some cases, pretending that everything is perfect. It's about training your brain to notice what is working alongside what needs improvement. It's about you understanding that you are not in yourself perfect, and things can break and things would happen. Now, research has shown that gratitude practice improves emotional regulation by 25 to 30% in weeks. And the challenge that I have for you this week is that I want you to write down 10 things you accomplished in 2025. Take your pen, take your note, take your jotters, take that notepad on your phone or your PC. Write down 10 things you accomplished in 2025, and not just the ones that look like big wins. Include the small victories. For example, did you show up consistently, just like myself? Did you learn something new? Whether it is accidental, whether it is planned, whether you had to go to school, did you learn something new? Did you maintain a relationship through difficulty? Did you choose kindness when you could have chosen bitterness? These things that looks ordinary, they count. And that's why you need to understand that you cannot get to a place where you are able to manage and regulate your emotion without recognizing the full picture, not just the gaps. So, gratitude should be a practice, not just a feeling. Oh my, I love this number 3. Your current position is not your final destination. Wow, 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 wow. This is awesome. Now, I need you to hear this. Wherever you are right now is not a barrier, is not your full stop, is not your destination. It is a foundation. It is something that is molding and building that future that you are moving on to become that great person that you are on the path to becoming. Now, maybe you did not get the promotion. Maybe you didn't. Now, maybe your business did not grow as fast as you had hoped. I know so many people can relate to that last one. Let me repeat it again. Maybe your business didn't grow as fast as you had hoped. Now, maybe you are still in that workplace that doesn't appreciate your idea. Well, I can see you on this call, and here you are listening to me. Now, I want to remind you of something that you have seen in several people, and that is when you don't give up, or when things looks like it's a surprise, then is where the opportunity comes. Now, an example is from the story of Tony Elumelu. After 10 years, something happened. I think there was a change in the central bank of Nigeria, and some CEOs like himself were forced to step down. One of the things we learned is that it was almost after he stepped down that he founded the Tony Elumelu Foundation. And today, he has empowered with $5,000 and above over 24,000 entrepreneurs across Africa. Yes, United Bank of Africa has some footprint in Africa, but beyond the footprint of the bank, Tony's influence has grown, shaping the future and destiny of young people. And interestingly, you meet these young people in your life. I have seen someone before that benefited from Tony Elumelu Foundation Fund. And this is one example. Maybe if he had been in the bank, he might have not had that impact. So your current position is not your final destination. There is so much set ahead of you that you need to focus on, picture properly, and continue to double down on. Now, note also that your setback might be a setup for you, and that is a setup for you to find that big thing that you are up to. But first, you must breathe where you are. Now, the next thing I'd love to speak about as you pause, or as we leverage the power of the pause, is the danger of comparison and the freedom of your own timeline. Now, let's be honest with ourselves, and let's be very real here. December is that month that everyone's highlight reels, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it is TikTok, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever. The highlight reels of everyone for the year on social media always looks picture perfect. Someone got promoted, someone relocated abroad, someone launched their business, Ah, and here you are asking yourself that what happened to me? And please note, if you are not careful, this comparison will steal your peace and your perspective. And here is what I would leverage on emotional intelligence for us again to understand that empathy begins with yourself. Empathy begins with yourself, not just you extending it to other people. Empathy begins with yourself, and you must have compassion on yourself. Now, that being said, your timeline as to the progress, the frames of successes in life is yours alone. Yours and yours alone. Now, the person who got promoted but have been working towards that promotion for 7 years. If I come to my story of how my promotions came, you'll be surprised that some of them came after 4 years, after 3 years, after 5 years. So if you see me celebrate it, you are now comparing yourself that still had one last year or 2 years ago, and you are saying, oh, I did not get promoted. Come on. This is not how it works on the other side for the person. Now, the person who relocated but has sacrificed things that you are not willing to sacrifice. So how can you compare yourself to that person? Now, the person who launched their business might have failed 3 times before this launch was successful. Now, note that you can't and you don't know the full story. You can't see the full picture and you don't know the full story. So all you see is just the highlight, a fragment, a fractional part of that story or that success moment. So stop using someone else's chapter 25 to judge your chapter 5 or chapter 6. Can you see the difference? You are using someone else's chapter 25 to judge your own chapter 5 or chapter 6. Come off it. That is the danger of comparison. You lose your peace, lose your joy, lose your comfort, and be dissatisfied with whatever you have done. So again, I ask you to breathe and leverage the power of pause. You stopping to reflect genuinely and properly. Now, the next thing I love to say is that what are those things in your emotional database or inventory that you need to release? Now, as we close out this year, let us do an emotional inventory together. What are you carrying into 2026 that you know that no longer serves you? Is it resentment towards that boss who doesn't value you? Is it anger about the opportunity that fell through? Is it shame? You know, there's a lot of shame around our culture and people sometimes feel comfortable with it. Or is it shame about that goal that you did not reach? Or could it be bitterness about that colleague who got the recognition you deserve, supposedly? What I'd love us to practice is cognitive reappraisal, and I want us to take it and do that seriously this week. Notice the emotion rather. I am feeling bitter about ABC. Identify that thought. I deserve that more than they did. Then the next phase, when you have, noticed and identify it, is to then challenge it. Is it holding onto you serving and achieving your goal, or even becoming a better team member or team player? Then reframe it and ask or tell yourself the story differently. Maybe that wasn't my opportunity, which means mine is still coming. I've had some phrases where people say things like, if your neighbor has been blessed, then that means the angel sharing the blessing is in the neighborhood. So say to yourself, maybe that wasn't my opportunity, which means mine is still coming, and I have to prepare for it. And that releases you from what is weighing you down. That resentment towards yourself, that negative emotion, it releases you from those occurrences. Now, one of the things I'd love to conclude on this emotional inventory is that you can't climb with your hands full of yesterday's burdens. It's a saying that says that you cannot climb. Just imagine you want to climb, an hurdle, or you want to climb a mountain, or you want to do, obstacle climbing, or whatever it is you want to climb, and you've got things in your hand, just like this, like my hand, the face tighted together or tied together. There is nothing that will enable you to climb. Are we together? So you can't climb with your hands full of yesterday's burden. One of the things I can remember from my personal days, or from back in the days, is that I always remember when promotion notification or news or updates is being shared across the office. When I see it, it gives me a chill, like, when is my turn going to come? But I'm very quick to manage the emotion and understand that, I must acknowledge and celebrate with this friend or with this person. Even sometimes when they are just colleagues, they are peers, they are not friends per se. What I do is then to approach them physically and congratulate them, or send them a special email with prayer. It took a while, but guess what? Eventually mine came. And this is how you need to see life. If you can see life from this angle, from this perspective, it will do you a lot of good. All right, next, celebrate your resilience. You survived, you adapted, and you are still here. Now, let's talk about something we don't celebrate enough, and that's our resilience. For you to make it through 2025, no matter what has happened, I can tell you for free that your resilience helped you to make it through. Whether it is in Nigeria or on the global landscape, every nation and every economy is filled with all sorts of unique challenges. There is economic uncertainty, infrastructural decadence, workplace toxicity for some, but you readapted yourself. You adapted to it and you survived. You found solutions and better ways at doing things. You kept on going. That is not a small feat. That is not a small feat. And that's what I want to remind you, that you are still here. Now, research shows that resilience is a core component of emotional intelligence, and it is the number one predictor of who thrives during volatility. Now, you might have not achieved everything you wanted, but you are still standing. You are still learning. You are still growing. That deserves recognition. And congratulations, my friend. And this week, I want you to take a moment and acknowledge your own strength. Write yourself a letter of appreciation for not giving up. Now, this might look mundane, ordinary, but I will encourage you. Take up these exercises and do them for yourself. Write yourself a letter of appreciation for not giving up. And if you love it so much, you can share with a friend or with an accountability partner or with your spouse, and the two of you will laugh together. All right, breathing into 2026, setting your intentions and your goals from the place of peace and not panic. Now, here's the challenge I want to pose to you as I close out this conversation today. Don't set your 2026 goals from a place of lack, panic, or proving something to others, or saying, if I do this, then this person will say, yes, it's the real G. No. Set them from clarity. Set them from peace. Set them from a place of you understanding that this is what your journey looks like so far, and this is the next phase. Now, set also from gratitude for where you are now and excitement for where you are going. Also, I love to encourage that micro-journal your current feelings. Practice mindfulness to center yourself. When it comes to the practice of mindfulness, I think I'll leave a full discussion to that one of these days. Fourth, try to reduce the noise around you and focus on the goal or the task at hand. In some cases, if you see yourself distracted a lot by noise, social media, and what have you, switch off everything you are doing from online and go offline and focus on producing quality thoughts and outputs. All right. Now set your intention not just for the day, but rather for the season ahead. Ask yourself, what do I want to feel in 2026? What kind of leader do I want to become? How do I want to show up for my team, my family, and most importantly, myself? How do I want to show up? How do you want to show up for yourself? Now, goals are important, but the emotional intelligence to pursue them with balance, integrity, and joy is what creates sustainable success. So, my friend, breathe, be grateful, and then when you are ready, build from there for 2026. Now, as we close out the conversation today, I'd love you to leave you with the fact that don't think about emotional intelligence just about managing stress or reading the room. It's also about knowing yourself well enough to honor your journey. Honor your journey, honor yourself, appreciate the great works that you have done and where you are presently as of today. It's not a small feat, I repeat. Now, this week, give yourself permission to pause. 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 I repeat. To celebrate. To breathe. And to be exactly where you are without making it mean you are behind. Just stay on that focus of this is where I am now. And I am not behind in life. I am making progress. Your story, I repeat again, isn't over. Your impact isn't complete. And your best chapters are still unwritten. So if you've followed me and you've loved all the discourse we've had so far, drop in the comments what's one thing you are grateful for from 2025 and one word that describes how you want to feel in 2026. Let's celebrate each other. Celebrate your friends, celebrate your loved ones, celebrate your colleagues, appreciate them for how far they've come and what they have also achieved. And before I close out today, I'd love to see if there's any comment, thoughts, suggestion. You don't agree with the line of my thoughts, that's fine. Let's discuss that quickly together as I close out and as I wrap up. I'd love to especially acknowledge everyone who has joined. Thank you for making our time to be part of the session. Thank you for always joining. Thank you for the support. Thank you for 2025. I'm already looking forward to 2026, but I know we still have 1 week or 2 weeks of more discourse as we close out the year and as we start talking about goal setting, objective setting, planning for your results and the outcome for the year 2026. But until then, until later, see you for now and have a great Friday, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much. I remain your very own Okoyemi Shokobi. Bye for now.